I absolutely love the first episode of season 5 of Rick and Morty, and I know we're not supposed to admit we like Rick and Morty anymore because certain fans have ruined it and made it seem,
Rick! I'm Pickle Rick!
We should all be so lucky as to have Mr. Nimbus as our mortal enemy. I mean, he's just the whole package. So I am very happy that Morty ended up touching the ocean with Rick, and we got to see all of that. Though it does make me wonder about when they went to Atlantis and got that mermaid puss. Rick wasn't concerned about it then, but I'm assuming it was because he had time to hide himself and hide what they were doing, where he was unconscious when the ship hit the ocean and he didn't have time to mask what he was doing. But you gotta think, how bad did Rick D-Day, that mermaid, that Mr. Nimbus was like, oh my god, this has to be Rick. Summer appreciation moment, probably more than a few moments. I've liked Summer for a while now. I didn't really like her in the beginning, but she's grown more and more on me. But the fact that she went into the Mariana Trench and was just killing sea creatures left and right to get the forbidden shell, she's just a bamf. I love the little snippets we got to see of Rick watching on his phone, monitoring her, just slaying all of them. Also, new catchphrase, let's lick tits, which, by the way, was a catchphrase that has been used before in the show, and Summer is now adopting it. Though I will say, please, it's okay to lick tits. I'm not coming at anyone for that, but please know where those tits have been, and please have the consent of the person that owns said titties, and also make sure they've just cleaned the area and stuff. You know, germs and stuff. We don't need another plague. Also, don't fuck bats. It does make me wonder, where is Space Beth? I'm sure she'll show up at some point, or maybe she's out in space doing stuff. Maybe each Beth switches every once in a while so they get the best of both worlds. I don't know, but I really want to see Space Beth. I was actually really looking forward to 2 Beths in the home and Jerry having to deal with that. Love the portal that went to a place where time flowed differently. That was the A plot. It was so good and so dark, and I actually really love when things flow differently. Like, if you watch Invincible, I won't ruin it, but there's an enemy that comes from another realm, and when they get to the Earth realm, they end up speeding up and dying. So that sort of stuff is a lot of fun, especially when you think about how long the destruction of something happened in their eyes. And honestly, I thought they were going to stop just with 𝑗 coming back and his dead wife, and it was just going to be like, oh, Morty fucked up again, ha 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 ha. But then the civilization just spent all their time, all their advancements with trying to kill the boy in the portal, the dark child, and it's kind of holding a mirror up to our own world, where we have certain civilizations that for centuries, one little conflict happened and they just won't let it go. It's so sad. But at the same time, you know, you hold a mirror up to things to go, ha, that's funny. It's so depressing. But yeah, we got like a dozen side quests and revenge stories in 22 minutes, which I love. I would love to spend more time in that realm and them dealing with the dark child and ramifications from that. Also the dark sorcerer, when he's like, oh shit, I was wrong, he exists. Although kind of messed up that Morty was the one that made the mistake and he went back to the realm and then just murdered a bunch of the people. Morty's getting darker and darker and more calculating and standing up more for himself. And I know Rick warned him before, you know, when a Morty gets too overconfident, bad things happen, which I think is indicating how evil Morty came about. So I'm actually a little concerned that Morty's starting to go down that path a little bit more. Also, and you can tell me if I'm completely wrong on this, so Morty lost a tooth during the fight when he went into the other realm, and Rick was talking about how he has poison inside their teeth if they want to take it at any time. Was that like a, hey, that's here now and it's going to come up in a future episode? Like maybe he needs to use the tooth for something and it's not there, he doesn't have the poison? I don't know. Honestly, it could have just been showing, oh my gosh, this kid was hit so hard a tooth came out, and I'm looking way, way too much into it. Jessica needs to stay being a time god this entire season. I hope this isn't a way for them to write her out of the season so they can focus on other things, or maybe love interests of Morty, though he did get to kiss her, so That was nice. We also know she's not really his true love. We've seen his true love, even though he may have blotched that. But I'm sure he can, in 5 years, look a little bit different and then snag it. But she was talking about how she was a character in someone else's story. And that basically is what she is for Rick and Morty. So I don't know if this is indicating, hey, she's going to have a bigger role, or maybe she's going to be more in with Rick and Morty now that she has all this knowledge and she's so smart. Or maybe it's just they're pissing her character away. It's really hard to tell with Rick and Morty. Rick in jail, how long is that going to last, honestly? He's gonna be out of there in like 2 seconds. But it was hilarious to see Mr. Nimbus, who obviously can control the police, throwing Rick in jail. Now, the most important part of this episode that I know everyone wants me to talk about, Beth and Jerry having a threesome with Mr. Nimbus. Though, let's all be honest with each other, he probably has some other sea creatures in there too. Also, him saying Rick would understand. I don't know if it's because Rick has had relations with Mr. Nimbus, or because Rick, he'll fuck anything. A planet, different aliens, he doesn't care. So Rick would understand, oh yeah, you have this sexual adventure. Who gives a shit? I've done way crazier things. Though I guess Rick could be upset that, his kid slept with his mortal enemy. Alright, well, let me know what you thought about the first episode of Season 5. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Like this video, subscribe, and I'm gonna go fantasize about Mr. Nimbus and his, assets.